Hey friends! So this is going to be a short video of just going over an impulse control game I love to play. You'll probably find it on the internet under the title zenbowl. And so all this is about creating a predictable distraction that we are heavily reinforcing our dog for not getting. That seems kind of, I don't know, intuitive, right? But what I like about this game is that we can really replace the bowl for any distraction. All we're looking for is something that solicits a little bit of interest escalation from our dog. I like to look for that, like, oh, moment, right? Where they see something that they want, but they're not necessarily going after it necessarily. Now, what's cool about this and using this as a game first, before we bring this into other distractions, is that our dogs can mess up and that's okay. I'll talk about problem solving just kind of halfway through the video um, before I get to the harder steps of it. But we're really trying to set them up where it's a win-win situation, but we just want to make it highly likely that they're going to win in the way we want them to. So the things that you'll need for this game, you'll need lots of small treats. I recommend you do a low and medium or low and high value treat. For some dogs, you might have a high value in the bowl that they can't get. For other dogs, you might start with a low value, but reward them with high value until they start getting the game, understanding it a little bit more, and then you can start to bring the value of that treat down. Um, and so having that variety is going to be really helpful for you. You'll need a small bowl or plate for your dog to eat out of. I like to use something that's not too unwieldy and will only fit a couple of treats in there, else sometimes I throw too many in. And that's not fair and also a waste. You'll need a leash for steps 3. We're going to build up using a leash in this game. And I need you to have a safe room free of distractions or minimal distractions or other dogs so that you and your dog can move freely around this space. The foundation skills you're going to need are a get it, which is our treat toss cue. Get it means look to the human to see where the treat is landing, and a yes or a yip marker, which means that the treat is coming from the human's body. So we're going to feed the dog to the face, or the dog should come back to us for the reinforcement. Either way. So the distractions are going to build up for this game. First, the distraction is going to be an empty bowl that is out of reach. Here with my repetition of Dax, I put it on the couch. I started it with it in my hand. I put it on the couch with my Chihuahua. I start on the floor with her, and it just in my hand, just gently out of reach. We will build up to moving that within reach, which will be step 2. Now the bowl has food in it, and it's within reach. You get to identify what within reach is. Technically, the bowl on the couch is within reach to Dax, but I'm counting that as a first step for him because he has the history of not just getting things that are on the couch or within face height for him. He's a large dog. It's really hard to find things out of reach for him. And then the third step is going to be the bowl in a more distracting or challenging environment. I highly encourage you to take this game out to different places. I love the predictability of the presence of the bowl and the game. And all we can do is be like, hey, let's play this fun game about thinking about your environment in different environments, where now the environment itself is just background. Step 1, we're going to hold the bowl in one hand, or you can place it on a surface like a table just out of reach. And you're going to toss get it's fast and early. We want to cue that get it as our dog is turning back to us or back to the bowl, maybe even looking at the bowl. But I want you to be really keen on getting it early. I like to start with an empty bowl and I'll review the empty bowl. So every time I change the location of it, if I move it to the floor,
Get
if the
it,
dog gets it, it's empty. It's not a big deal, right? And then I can work on my timing. We
get it,
want fast. We want a strong reinforcement history.
get it, get it. Try with a different dog. He's never played this game. It was really high value for him. Get it. He's really good at standing there. Get it. Get it. Get it. Get it. Get it.
So before we move on to step two, we're gonna do some problem solving. So if they get the food, they get the food. It's not a big deal. A lot of time with reactivity, we will discuss how to just de-escalate if your dog has a response, right? Don't yell back at them. You're just gonna be behind them, being like, "Hey, that's cool. Whenever you're ready, I'm back here." Sometimes our emotions get the best of us and it's a little hard, so practice laughing it off. Ugh, you totally got that food. How silly. Let's try again. Let's make it easier. So I'm gonna show you a few reps of me problem solving on the fly with my dogs, just to make these games a little bit easier and the next reps are more successful. Save the game. Save the game by having a release cue, right? If you're like, oh, you're gonna go for that food, that's okay. That's okay. Just release them to it. Say release, okay, dish, whatever you use to give them their food. You're like, ah, you got me on that one. That's all right. Um, and the next step is going to be building duration away from the bowl. You'll see this with my Chihuahua. She moves fast. She's energetic. She's into it. She loves food. This is great.
Get it.
So
That's
I'm
very
gonna
good
build
boy.
duration by reinforcing her away from the bowl.
Get it.
And then I'm gonna slow down. This is the key part of it, is I'm going to start high and then I'm going to
Get it.
slow down my rate of reinforcement.
Okay.
If you are familiar with the up and down game
Get
for
it.
making eye contact, I'm gonna add that into the links in the description below. But you can also just use your yes marker, right? Start kind of fast, and then with every yes and food, you're gonna slow it down. So we're getting our dog's yes excitement and then decrease, decrease, decrease. And these are the top ways that I'm gonna problem solve these next steps. Step two. Step two is going to be slowly moving the bowl within reach. Prepare yourself to,
Get it.
once again, you're making the game harder, so you're gonna do a higher rate of reinforcement first, and then you can slow it down as you start to build trust.
Get it. 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 Get it.
Step three, these are your add-ons. So we're gonna add on the leash. We're gonna add on our get behind our dog and wait for them to reorient to us. This is a great moment for trust building. If you're like, oh, I don't wanna, I'm standing right next to the bowl. I do not wanna leave the bowl. I don't trust my dog. You know what? See what they're going to do, right? You made it to step three this far. I'm guaranteeing you're seeing some things from your dog that either they're totally going to leave you and get the food in the bowl, or they're going to work with you on this one. So your add-ons, adding in that leash and or that get behind and or higher value in the bowl, either more low value. Now you have 10 low value treats, or one or two really good treats in that bowl. These are going to add that
Get
on.
it. Get it. Get it. Yes. Good boy. Get it. Yes. Get it. Get it. Get it. Get it. Get it. Adding duration now? Yes. Yes. Still uncued. Yes. Looking is okay. Looking's good. Yes.
My next bit of problem solving, and I see this a lot, is the question of wouldn't it just be easier to cue a behavior? And I'm going to tell you those are different games. Sit, stay while something happens is a different game. It's working a different part of your dog's brain than can you make a good choice while something happens? So we call those operant cues. Operant cues are cues that we say and we expect a behavioral outcome. So operant cues tend to lead to do whatever you want until the human tells you to stop, which is when we get shenanigans. It tends to lead to needing to build in and really isolate duration. Now we have to do a 3-second stay. Now we have to do a 5-second stay as a squirrel moves around us. Now we have to do a 15-second stay as we walk to the end of the leash. Now we have to do a 30-second stay while a dog walks by. So we still need to isolate duration in this. And we're not necessarily setting up our dogs to be successful in that. It also eliminates choice. You have to. Cueing a behavior sets them up to be like, you have to do this. I don't have a failsafe. Sit while this dog passes. But if you break that sit, I kind of set myself up to fail there, right? So what we're trying to create are environmental cues. Read the room, right? Our little puppy friends, read the room. Environmental cues tend to lead to more confident choices, right? Oh, that's the neighbor dog. I hate them, but I got reinforced for not barking at them last time. Let me check in real fast, right? Environmental cues are the bull is present. This means that I should be thinking about what's going on around me. It also, environmental cues lead to just better awareness of surroundings. Now your dog is looking around and processing their feelings. They're like, that's a tree, that's a dog, that's a squirrel, that's the car. I'm going to go back to the car. Can we go back to the car? Right? The other thing is that it lets us be humans. It's really important, right? We're not here to constantly tell our dogs what to do. I mean, maybe you are, but I don't really want that for you or for your dog, right? And so the other piece of that is it lets you relax a little bit and be like, hey, the last 25 times you saw a trash can, you didn't scream. I bet you can see a trash can and not scream right now. So I want you to slowly take a break in between, but build up these steps and really think about how you can introduce this into areas or pieces that are really hard for your dog. The other thing that I want you to continue to think about is that the bowl is you're going to replace the bowl with distractions, right? So we give you a little bit of a demo here, but the bowl is going to be my giant stuffed unicorn. The bowl is going to be another dog. The bowl is going to be your favorite toy that you can't play with yet. The bowl is going to be the door. Now the bowl is going to be the door as I knock on it, as I open it, as somebody else comes through, right? So we're going to, as you get fluency, you can replace the bowl with these things. I just kind of want you to have it in your head, though, that first we're going to start with the bowl because it's a win-win situation. They can have it, and then we can build up to the bowl being these different pieces of the environment that your dog is actively struggling with.